What flavor is that?
Wintergreen.
No, the Athletic Brew. Tucker's?
It's like their craft hazy IPA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's $15 for a 6-pack of non-alcoholic beer. But you can get it on the feed, so highly recommend it. Yeah.
It's centered here. All right, cool. All right, let's talk about your race schedule for this year. Where are we going first?
We are going to Oceanside, baby. Stoked. Yeah, I cannot wait for Oceanside. I've been doing this weekly podcast with Ari Clow and Greg Harper, 2 other pros, on the Triathlon Hour Patreon. So it's behind a paywall, but it's only $18. So if you haven't checked it out, we have a few episodes left if Oceanside hasn't happened yet. So check it out. We've been really finding our groove. Every week we talk about our training. We're basically all training somewhere between like 19 and 24 hours a week. I've beat them in a few races, but Ari's numbers are looking exceptional, and Greg is now being coached by Ari and making some massive progress, and he's the best swimmer in triathlon. So anyway, we make a pretty unique dynamic, and me and Ari are gonna have a pretty epic bet at Oceanside. If he beats me, I owe him $500. If I beat him, he has to shave his mustache and make a YouTube video about it. And he hasn't shaved his mustache in like 5 years. So pretty exciting. And yeah, Oceanside, I've raced it. This will be my 5th time doing Oceanside. It's the first race in the United States of the Ironman Pro Series. I'm wearing the shirt today. And, it's going to be crazy. You're going to have Christian, Gustav, and Patrick Longa, 3 Ironman World Champions that have all announced they'll be racing. And then tons of other guys. Braden Curry, Mark Dubrick, Lionel Sanders. I shouldn't even name names because I'm going to forget a ton of great people. Ben Canute. I don't know. I don't have goals yet. I want to perform and have my best race ever. I'm training to be as fit as I've ever been. I'm training to ride bigger watts than I've ever ridden. I'm training to swim front pack, and I'm training to run a PR faster than 117. So there are my goals. Have my best race of my life and see where I finish. Then 3 weeks later, we're going to Peru, baby. So yeah, just booked our flights. You excited?
Oh yeah, dude, the Airbnb picture I'm gonna overlay right here. I had no idea this is how beautiful Peru was, so I'm really pumped for that one.
Yeah, we're staying in Miraflores in downtown Lima. What's fun about it is my coach actually won that race. It was her last pro race, and I want to go down there and podium and maybe win. I'm not going to be shy about that. I mean, I haven't seen the start list, and you never know what that's going to look like, but I'm not going down there to get 8th place. That's for damn sure. I am going down to Peru, and Kyle and I are going to make the trip, the 2 of us, to hopefully make some money, get some podium bonuses, win the race, compete at the front, ride away from the front of the race on my own and run really well. That's what I want to do many times this year. And I'm dreaming big and I'm feeling fit, and it's the end of February and I'm in a good spot. But Peru's 3 weeks after Oceanside. So the idea there is kind of recover out of Oceanside, do maybe 1 really solid week, and then go see what happens. I love South America too. I speak a little Spanish. Last time we went to Cozumel, we just had the best time. And doing Oceanside and St. George as my only 2 spring races just wasn't getting me excited enough. I've done that many times for many years, and wanted to get on a flight and go to a foreign country that I've never been to. That's one thing I love about triathlon, and the fact that the pro side of the sport could fund that trip and maybe you come back with some extra money in your pocket doesn't suck. So vamos a Peru.
All right, is there a break after Peru?
For 12 days. And then we are driving to St. George.
That's right.
It's a 2-hour drive from here. Super easy. Just booked the Airbnb today. 6-bedroom house.
Yep.
We'll be staying with some homies. And
is it the same place, or is it just the same?
Same complex. Different house. Yeah. So I've stayed there like 3 or 4 times now. St. George, like round 6 or 7 for me. I've done the Ironman World Championship there as an amateur where I won my age group. I've done 70.3 Worlds there. I've done the Pro 70.3 there. I'm excited. Love St. George. It's a really tough course, brutal bike, perfect for me. Really, really tough run, not as perfect for me. But yeah, I top 10 there last year. It was a super deep field, and I had a pretty good day, but not my best day. And this year, you know, we got Sam Long and Magnus Ditlev, and then a ton of other people that are gonna come off of Ironman Texas 2 weeks earlier. So the fact that I'm coming from Peru to St. George is kind of crazy. You know, it's 2 weeks apart, it's international travel, but it's not as crazy as doing a full Ironman and then going to 70.3 St. George 2 weeks later. Like, you know, I think Trevor's gonna do that. I think all the guys going for the Pro Series are gonna have to do that. So I'm confident I can do well. We'll see though, you know, we'll see. Can't get sick. I've got a work trip between Oceanside and Peru where I'm gonna be gone for a week. So it's a pretty nutty amount of travel while trying to work full time. But that is the experiment of this entire pro tri thing that you guys all get to follow along for. And maybe I'll break, maybe I'll be sick, maybe I won't make the start line at St. George, or maybe I'll podium. Like, I have no idea.
And then there's a little break, right?
TBD. My flights are booked for 70.3 Chattanooga, which is 6 days after St. George. No, is that right? 7 days.
Yeah.
7 days. So I don't know if I'll actually do that race, and I probably won't decide until after St. George. But I'd like to do it. I'd like to be in one piece and go to Oceanside feeling great, recover, train, taper, race Peru, fitter than at Oceanside, then recover from Peru for 1 week, taper for St. George, race St. George, smash myself in, and then recover for 7 days and race again one more time. Probably a little detrained, probably not at peak fitness, but Chattanooga is not a pro race. I'm sorry, not a pro series race, so it won't be quite as deep, and it might be an opportunity to podium or top 5. And I'm not sure St. George will be. It might be, but the field's going to be insane, and I don't think I'm beating Sam Long and Magnus Ditlev by May. I just don't. Those guys are on such a different level, and I'm just excited to line up with them. And I think I could top 5, but I'm not podiuming in there. And then Chattanooga, you know, I love it. My buddy Augie's in Nashville. I had a great time last year. I'd like to just throw it in. And then what I would do is then I would take a break. I'd take a proper break and would not race the rest of May and not at all in June, and probably not until the very, very end of July. So it'd be like a 10-week mid-season break after Chattanooga.
Nice. Then what's after that?
There's so many options. I thought about Eagle Man in June. I thought about Lake Placid, Ironman, thinking about last year. Mont Tremblant, unfortunately, is not a pro race this year at all, and that was my best race last year.
Went out with a bang, dude.
Yeah. Went out with a bang, got my 4th place, rode in the rain with Lionel and Matt Marquardt, and almost held off Canute and Matt, but didn't. And it was a great memory. So bummer, RIP for Mont Tremblant. Good luck to the amateurs racing it this year. But for me, I decided not to go for the Pro Series this year. I just don't think I'm at the level to do well, and you have to do 3 full Ironmans. And so, you know, my focus is really going to be on developing in the 70.3. And so I've decided to do 70.3 Boise at the end of July. Brand new city I've never been to, really excited. Then I'm going to do 70.3 Louisville in August. Got some weddings, some bachelor parties, another work trip. It works out well. My in-laws live in Cincinnati, and just another great domestic race. My mom actually grew up in Louisville, so really stoked about that one. Never done it. And I'm excited to do 2 new races. Like, I've done Oceanside 6 times, St. George 6 times. So going to a new place like Boise and then Louisville, and then I'll return to a familiar destination of 70.3 Santa Cruz. And I've raced that 4 times as an amateur, but never as a pro. And what's funny is last time I raced 70.3 Santa Cruz, it was my last 70.3 as an amateur. And if I were in the pro field that day, I actually would have made $1,000. But I went like 356 or something. It might be the amateur course record. Somebody can fact check me on that one if you're interested in chasing it. I've had a few, my amateur course record at 70.3 Ohio did fall last year to somebody very fast, but I think I still have it for Santa Cruz. But this year I want to go win or podium at Santa Cruz. It's like a week apart from the Ironman World Championship at Nice. Okay. So, you know, the deepest, heaviest hitters, the top in the world, will all be at the Ironman World Championship, and I'll be hopefully doing really well in my hometown race from the Bay Area at Santa Cruz.
I gotta go to that one actually.
Oh, it's gonna be the best. Dude, it's beautiful. It's on the ocean. You swim around the pier. The bike course is like rolling, just gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay. And is that it for the season?
Potentially 70.3 Cozumel. Vamos a Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, we had such a good time there last year. I was third place, but actually with an asterisk, I consider myself in second since I was beat by the dirty chicken and egg eater, Tomas Rodriguez. Apparently he was clean in that race, but you and I both know that ain't true. So when he ran by me at like 112 pace in 88 degrees, I was like, huh, he's fast. But yeah, that race is awesome. I loved Cozumel. If I still have the energy and desire to travel in me and results are good, I'd like to do that. The other sort of option would be potentially grabbing a wild card at T100 Vegas. It's going to be a lot harder this year than last year because last year it was a weekend before Kona and you had a lot of guys that were contracted athletes that opted out of that race. And I honestly didn't do particularly well in T100 Vegas last year. I was injured. So going into that with a hip stress reaction in my hip, I basically just like shit the bed on the run and had stomach issues the whole time. So it's going to take some pretty stellar results this year to earn a T100 wildcard, but I will do my best, and I would absolutely love to be back on my hometown race at the T100 at the top level. So that will probably wrap up my season. My main goal right now in the sport is to get to Kona in 2026, and I believe this 70.3 focus season focuses on my run development and allows me to race a lot and get a lot of exposure and get a lot of experience because I'm still only a third year pro, and one of those 2 years, I was basically injured for most of the year. So kind of like second year pro, you know, if last year was my first real season where I banked a bunch of consistent results, I'm looking to do that again. And so I don't really want to try to get to the Ironman World Championship and beat myself up and get 25th place. I do want to do that in 2026. But I think I'll just be a different athlete if I can stay healthy and keep banking the run miles and develop where I'm running 115 consistently off the bike. So that is my season plan. I will not be at 70.3 Worlds this year, unfortunately, because my brother-in-law is getting married that weekend. And then another one of my close friends is getting married the weekend before. So November is kind of a mess, and I'll probably take my off season in November and then build for an early season 2026 full distance Ironman and give myself a bunch of shots on goal to qualify for Kona in 2026. Hopefully that's, you know, Texas, Placid, maybe Brazil, maybe Ironman New Zealand or South Africa. So yeah, who knows what 2026 will bring if I'm, you know, fit and hunting, but really focused on 70.3. And my number one goal this year is to win a race. And obviously I want to be on a podium. I wasn't on a podium last year, but get on a podium, win a race.